Hello? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Looks like I'm good now. Go ahead and let me know if I'm good now. I believe that solved it. So I had an update last night and changed a lot of my settings. I actually had to switch some things just to get into Lightspeed. That might have been what caused it. But I think I'm good now. Good? Alright, cool. Cool. Awesome. So, real quick, I'll go ahead and restate what I felt about this in a moment. I do want to touch on ENVB, though. This was that stock I was holding for an hour, basically, yesterday here. I was noting how it felt like it should have curled. Now, this had news that spiked this, so I'm not really going to claim credit, per se. I just think it's interesting that the stock I held was the one that ended up moving massively after hours. But I don't think they're necessarily... I'm not necessarily saying I called that out, because I don't think that that's fair, considering there was a news catalyst later. So I just wanted to differentiate that. So going to beat, this one, what I was saying when I was muted was, the float's a bit higher, price is a bit cheaper. If the price moves up a bit more, I'd be more interested. Price has moved up quite a lot, right? We've basically almost 2x'd. Right, from 80 cents up to 150, that's like a 90% move or something. It's basically gone straight up. So yeah, the higher float kind of sucks, but this has definitely removed the price limitation at this point. Right, it's gone high enough. So I'll be keeping an eye on that specifically. Daily chart wise, did I check AFJK? I looked at it. I didn't think much of it on at least the intraday, but I didn't look at it afterwards, and it looks like it made a pretty crazy move afterwards. No, I haven't looked at it this morning, if that's what you're talking about. Wow. Okay, very surprising. That went from what? Around $6 or so? Over 100? That's insane. Holy crap. No, I did not even notice that. Definitely keep an eye on this one. Yeah, good thing pointing that out. Yeah, I didn't see it on my scanners. I mean, I'm using momentum scanners, and the gap scanner is for lower price stocks, so it wouldn't have picked it up. Yeah, good call. Good call. So my question is, do I want to take the first candle to make a new 1 minute high? Technically, it'd be the second one now, because we had this one here. This would be like the micro pullback almost. Now, these two candles are high volume, so unfortunately this isn't a picture-perfect pullback. I would much rather wait for this to pull back a bit more if I was to try something. Good morning, sir. There is news on BDRX. I can look at BDRX real quick. Not this morning. Yesterday there was news. But not this morning. So, yeah, it looks like this recovery was mostly something more technical, or someone waiting a longer period to execute, because this move here was not driven directly by anything. I'm going to pivot back to B, because it's getting beat down. Yeah, you see, like, this is still high volume. To me, this isn't super convincing to me. Good morning, Pierre. Or Pierre. Man, I love language. But yeah, good morning to everybody. Yeah, like I don't even want to buy this because just the volume is so high. All of this pullback has been on very high volume. I just don't have conviction to buy any kind of bounce here. I mean, you could have like a reverse head and shoulders if you go back up to here and you kind of stabilize here, but just the fact we had heavy selling volume here, that kind of ruins any real bounce pattern I would have wanted. MIGI, I'm seeing on my scanners. Let's see. Do have news at 7. Volume has picked up in the last minute. Daily chart. What the heck is going on with this daily chart? I mean, it looks like it's spiked heavily. Probably a low float into dilution, if I had to guess. What is the shares on this? Yeah, we're seeing a price discrepancy in shares. Thinkorswim saying 1 million and MIGI or Lightspeed is saying 18 million. So probably dilution. Just if I had to guess. This is quite ranging too, right? 524 up to 6, back to 5. The problem is that this volume is extremely high. What was the news? Presenting on Emerging Growth Conference on December 11th. Okay, it's not a really big catalyst. Kind of a nothing burger. Real quick, if you guys are wanting to support me, I would appreciate it if you left a like. Helps me get this out to more people, and I would appreciate it. Thank you. Good morning, Benjamin. Good morning, sir. Yeah, so beat still pulling back. Volume is slightly descending. This is making me a little more optimistic for a bounce here. But again, considering this is a higher float, lower price stock already, and if I'm having to also concede that the volume's a bit high, it feels like I'm giving a lot of concessions. This wouldn't be an A quality setup by any means. Good morning, Faded Soul. Faded Soul. Faded Soul. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on MIGI. That one's very beaten up, so I'm afraid of downward selling pressure. Looks like dilution too, just on the surface. I might just sit tight here. I don't really like the setups we're seeing at the moment. This is probably the best one on beat, but it doesn't even look that good. The only thing it's got going for it is the volume has been decreasing on this. But even then, the price hasn't really gone down either. Right? It's kind of churned and ranged here. I see we got 6 likes here, and I do appreciate it. Thank all of you. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Also, in case you didn't notice, I did change the webcam size a little bit. I think this looks a lot better. So, yeah, just looking at my layout here, I made the webcam a lot bigger here. And yeah, this looks a lot better. I kind of like the contrast dynamic. Looks very clean. You can read it a lot easier. And yeah, I like this a lot more. This feels a lot better. Yeah, MIGI, very rangy. Right, like it popped up, but we're having very low volume. Right, the daily chart context combined with the catalysts not really being the greatest. Even on the 5-minute or like the multi-day, right? You're kind of in an upward range. So pulling back here doesn't seem totally ridiculous either. So yeah, I'm not really liking this one. Also, the highest volume candles also being low volume, not great. $11 likes. Wow, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Really nice start for the likes. But just to recap too on my earlier decision from yesterday, if I see a stock that looks like an A or A plus quality setup, and I don't see any signals to get out, as long as I'm holding light size, I think it could be okay to hold it. That's kind of the consensus I reached. NXDR looks interesting. Yeah, you see it too. No news though. All right, what we got for shares? 300 million. Is that on Thinkorswim too? Yeah. Yeah, that's too high. Yeah, even looking at the daily chart, you can see how this is so range bound. Yeah, to me the odds this rolls over is not in my favor. I can't touch this one. Very weird. The level 2 is so light at the moment. Right? You've got a 4-cent spread. Something this high of a shares outstanding. Kind of strange. Yeah, I mean, this has several days where it will just range 4 cents. Keep an eye on it for sure, but I don't think I want to touch this one either. The fact it had no news on it too, that's just even worse. All right, beat curling. Yeah, so we saw this continued declining volume. Yeah, I just don't know. You're working against the high float and low price. You have high selling pressure here. Right? High selling pressure, high volume. You do have descending volume, but the price went sideways. The only way this is really back in play is if this volume becomes higher than this selling pressure volume. Otherwise, I feel like this is going down. Wow. What a rejection. 130 straight down to 112. Now, like I said, it doesn't look good. And NXDR up on earnings. Oh, so it's an earnings play. Did it just not show up? Yeah, it's just not showing up in Thinkorswim. If it's an earnings, that makes sense. But again, for the reason I said before, the higher shares outstanding, I just didn't want to touch it. That would explain why the level 2 thinned out too, right? Market makers kind of getting out of the way, anticipating that this could move from news, so they're just not really holding it up or down. So that actually makes a lot of sense. Good morning, Dangan. Good morning, sir. Yeah, this looks like a sit tight angle for me. I suppose you could argue maybe in this instance, even though the shares outstanding is so high at 300 million, you could still maybe try to engage just because market makers have pulled their orders for the moment because of the earnings. So there was that argument. I'd rather just avoid it. But I suppose you could make that argument. How did Beat respond to that rug? Yeah, like high volume. This has too many red flags. I can't touch this. Not here anyway. Let's see, NXDR. Yeah, also kind of rugged a bit. 245 to 221. Not that bad of a rug, really. 24 cents. But giving this context of how much this stock moves. Nope. Probably just sitting tight, waiting for the half hour. So we had a high volume spike down. So like this was a critical level, right? We had this break by a few pennies. We got hit hard with selling pressure. A few minutes pass. We get hit by hard buying pressure. Again, break above by a few pennies. Yeah, this one feels like it's getting played with. Right? Anybody who's trying to go long at a breakout level, right? Longs try to go here. They get absolutely smashed. I guess if anybody tried to go short here too, right? They would get taken out too. So you could maybe make an argument that this stock is doing a lot of fake outs, so you could buy into weakness or you could sell into strength. That might make sense in the terms of this stock in particular. Everything drop. Well, I mean, Beat's holding up, right? As far as stocks with news, MIGI, news at 7, it rolled over. NXDR is still holding, so I wouldn't really even say everything's rolling over. Only MIGI, from what I could tell, has rolled over. So we're sitting at 2 and 1, 2 stocks holding, 1 dropped. So I wouldn't really classify it as everything rolling over. Okay, descending volume here. I'd be curious if we see a breakdown on low volume. I might try and engage with that. Just because of all these fake outs. Okay, I did go long there. Just giving it a try, see if this is a fake out or not. Because we've had multiple fake outs on this stock now. We'll see if we get any kind of recovery bounce. Good start. I timed the bottom pretty well in this, actually. Big wall at 30. But it's hard to judge that wall just because of how high the shares is. It took half off, struggling to break 30. Still holding half. Yeah, we'll see. Kind of back in this range territory, but still not super convinced too. I might have been onto something with the fake outs though, because this was a fake out that I bought on. This was a fake breakout as well. So we're having a ton of fake outs on this stock. Three minutes till the half hour. Got to keep that in mind as well. We do kind of have ascending support here as well. This bounce seems to have held. We'll see if that actualizes into a move or not. $70,000 share bid at 22. Not super big considering the volume. Volume's usually over 100,000. It's significant, but not unbreakable. Second day following. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. I'm just happy you're enjoying the stream. Right, I'm just doing this to have a community, people to talk with. Yeah, today's definitely a lot slower, though, right? The fact that I'm trying to engage with this is probably like a B- or C+ quality. Okay, getting a bit of a breakout here now. 1 minute till the half hour as well. Let's see if 30 finally breaks. Yeah, I mean, it's all about the community. Yeah, it's a big wall at 30. All right. I gave it time. I'm going to cut it. It's a 200,000 share wall at 130. If it breaks, it breaks. On the bright side, too, because we're at the half hour, there could be new stuff coming into play here. I'll give it a B-. It's either a B- or a C+. Small cushion. Right, we've tested this a lot of times here. We've seen that there's these reversal traps too. So seeing this go up to here, and after giving it maybe, what, 30 seconds of breathe room, it was not breaking 130. Looks like it may have been the right call too. Very small cushion on the day. Same start as yesterday, which is a little bit unsettling considering I got stuck in a larger drawdown yesterday. In hindsight, I feel really smart because I sold basically at the top. But I mean, it's just kind of ranging. I'm curious if this gets back to 230 or 130. How price is going to act at 130? Are we going to see that big wall again? So we've essentially tested that wall. We've tested it once, twice, 3, 4 times. We've tested 130. You could argue that we're curling for a breakout here, right? Resistance or ascending support. But on the flip side, all of these fake outs makes me afraid to buy for the break. Right? If it's faked it out so many times already, what are the odds it's going to do a fake out again? On a critical break. HCTI, I'll check it out. Ah, good stuff. I didn't see this one on my scanners. Let's see. We do have news on the half hour. Signs advance agreement on acquisition of a AI customer engagement business. On track to generate 34 million revenue. So a bunch of words. It's an okay catalyst, right? It's acquisition. It's not necessarily good or bad. Depends on the company they're acquiring, really. As far as the daily, it looks like we've been mostly... we're slightly underwater from this capitulation here. Right. We're currently sitting right at the previous close. Volume's a little bit lower. Yeah. This feels a little bit rough for a bounce play, right? Because this went down to 167. So we've got quite a ways we could drop technically. So bounce play is a little bit hard for full-on capitulation. Also, volume's a bit light if we're looking for an actual bounce and recovery. Not really sure how much I like this. I'll keep it on watch. See if it does anything. BEAT did end up breaking out. So I sold into this one, right? There was like, what did I say? 7... How much did I say there was? There was a very large seller. But yeah. Good volume here. I don't know. It's really hard to time this, right? Because there's so many times you could have bought for this break, and it just kept failing over and over on it. Right? Trying to buy this curl for the next break. It feels like I'm starting to buy too high. It is nice, though, to see that this volume is returning on this move up. Right? We've had clear volume coming in. We had, what was this, 130 to 145? Yeah, so 15-cent move. It's okay. It's not crazy. I don't really trust this to break out cleanly, though. Very thickly traded? Yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, what was it? It was a 30 million share outstanding stock, and it's a bit lower price, so those are really hurting into the move, right? Like, if the float was much smaller, then I guarantee you we wouldn't have seen all this pressure before breaking out, right? It was because there was someone selling a very large position here that was holding it back for so long. Yeah. The thickly traded's really making me not want to engage. That on top of all of the fake outs. Yeah, so you have a fake out here as well, right? So 1 minute high into breakdown. Yeah, it's about a 10-cent drop there. Yeah, like this is giving too many fake outs. Even if it recovers here, this is a pretty nasty fake out. And the other options we have are just kind of not that great, right? Just to look at the other options we saw, NXDR. Shares outstanding is way too high on this one. MIGI. We had relatively low volume flowing in, and now it's just kind of churning. HCTI. Similar story. We're not having that much volume flowing in. And it just kind of rolled over and it's going sideways. So yeah, we're seeing a pattern of low volume inflow. People are not as willing to engage with stocks lately. Sorry you're late. Glad I'm late for the fake out. Usually a sucker for them. Yeah, honestly, it feels like you didn't miss much this morning. I don't know if you just saw the stocks I just explained, but yeah, we haven't had a lot of opportunity. Even the one trade I did take, I gave it a B- quality. It wasn't even that great of a setup. More of just me acknowledging that there's a lot of fake outs, and I tried taking a fake out trade into a reversal, and it did work. Well, it worked mostly. I didn't get full profit. I got about 3/4 of my target. But yeah, the fact that a lot of stocks... I know someone mentioned earlier that everything's failing, but now we're starting to see actually that the failure rate is increasing. I mean, yeah, I don't really like this one for bounce. It's got a couple of issues. Unfortunately, I'm probably just sitting tight here. I don't really want to engage with this. I already gave it one test, and honestly, maybe I shouldn't have even poked it. I am keeping an eye on HCTI. It's unlikely it'll do what I want it to. Right? I would only be really interested in this if we went down to levels that were at the lows on the daily. So we would basically have to see this thing go to like 180s before I'd be interested in it. Not very likely, but not impossible either, seeing how things have been getting beaten up. BDRX curling, I'll check it out. Yeah, we're curling right at support. But like we're on the backside, and this thing's pulled back so much. What is this, dilution or something? Like we just kind of rocketed into a massive, massive rug pull. Yeah, into this. What a crazy move this stock has made, right? You see this huge move into this huge rug, into this huge move. Yeah, this one just seems like all over the place. Very, very chaotic. It does seem like this support level has been relevant this whole time. I drew this support way back here on the daily. The fact that it's kind of showing some respect in the present day is interesting. Yeah, AFJK, I saw that. Someone pointed it out. Very crazy move on that one. Could touch on it again here just because there's nothing else. Yeah, very crazy move on this one. Did not see this coming. And we had a similar one too with, what was it? ENVB. I can't spell. Yeah, oh my god. Okay. Yeah, we had a similar one with this one. Very nice spike on it. Unfortunately, it's just kind of sold off since 6:30. See, we've had a couple nice spikes, but nothing's like really moving and holding right now. Right? The big movers are pulling back. The new movers are failing, except for beat. And I mean, I guess you could also argue NXDR. All right, this one's also holding. You can also check OCG. Moved a lot yesterday. Okay, I'll check it out. AFJK was extremely jumpy yesterday, going up and down over $1. It scared me. Yeah, I mean, it'll do that. Yeah, you're right. This one also moved a lot. So intraday, we're actually seeing quite a few stocks that are moving. Very strange how we turned sideways for a huge time. Now, just now we're getting momentum down. Right, 820 to 7. Daily also looks extremely weird. Do keep in mind, too, this is a Chinese stock, so there's more manipulation shenanigans going on here. Don't really like it. It's rough because it makes me question, what should I do for the next stock? Like, if 8 o'clock comes around, top of the hour, and we see a stock pop, what do I even do? If I know most of the stocks are failing... Very nasty breakdown here. Higher volume. Yeah, I've learned that the hard way on Chinese stocks. Yeah, they are a different beast. It looks like someone's distributing a lot here. Volume's increased on this. Tell you what, though. Because HCTI and MIGI, I want to show this, so this is kind of my thinking. I want you to look real closely at the volume, right? So we had 70,000 on the high. Some of these candles were like maybe 15,000. We'll just say this was a 300,000 share total move across all of this. We go to HCTI. We're going to see probably something similar, right? 40,000, but we had a couple 20,000s. Okay, 12,000. Again, I'm just going to say 300,000 shares total for the entire move. If we see a stock that's a low float, and within the first minutes we're getting 100,000 share volume candles, that I think would be the differentiator to say, hey, this one might hold up better. So next stock we see that comes out at 8, I'm going to be looking at the volume profile, really paying attention to see if we get volume inflow. Because it seems like right now people aren't willing to engage. So maybe seeing the volume increase on a move will give me confidence to say, hey, this one's going to be different. That's my speculation anyway. Yeah, I can't buy this. The volume's still too high. Right, this could just be straight up distribution. Makes me feel better too, because I was debating if I should take this 1 minute high, because I'm like, man, it's kind of breaking out now, you know? But, I mean, it's faked out all this. Right, so many fake pops, fake drops, fake pops. Kind of ruined the history for me. Good morning, Tella. Good morning. Very slow day today. Small green, I suppose I should be happy with that. Sellers were stacking at 144, probably needs more consolidation. Yeah, and even back here, right? And I'm not saying this was manipulation or fake per se, but there was a pretty big sell order at 130 during all of this. I called out what it was, but I can't remember what it is now. But I called it out that there was a big seller here, and I bought one of these knives. I don't remember. It was this, I think. Yeah, for the correction. And after seeing it attempt to break here and struggling, I took half off, and then when I saw it's still struggling, I took the rest off here. And we might just be seeing something similar here, right? Because this is a larger float stock. once this moved up, maybe at 144, 145, like you were saying, we could have had a very large seller here. And either A, that's just too much and there's not enough buyers, or B, there's a big seller and we got to see it retest and then break to go up another 15 cents. That's kind of my take of the situation. It is a bit rough too to see that there was a big seller at 130. It broke and went up 15 cents and now there's another big seller. That's pretty rough. Just curious, how's SMX doing? I haven't checked on it. Wow, okay, so it actually kind of is holding here a bit. That's actually, okay, that's actually not bad. Right, it's holding a bit lower than I would have liked. I would prefer if it would have held somewhere around like 170s, just because there was this clear area here. All right, so 170s is going to be a difficult place to break out of. But at the very least, we have stair-stepped up from the previous level. So it's not the worst case. It's also not the best case, though, right? I would say this is probably like a suboptimal setup, but there's a little bit of life left in it. That's kind of how I would describe it. ENVB. Break VWAP. Yeah, I don't have VWAP on here. I don't really like using VWAP that much. Just feels like an extra line that I don't really use. But, yeah, I can imagine that there would be VWAP probably somewhere around here, right? Because this is like roughly in the middle. So there's probably VWAP around here. Yeah, we've come down since 6:30, right? Was this right at 6:30? No, 6:45. We just kind of started trending down for about a solid hour. Now we're curling a bit. Good morning, no team. Or not eam. Or no teamer. I don't know. But yeah, this isn't terrible. We're getting some volume inflow, but the problem is this volume is still much lower than this volume on the push down. So the only way I'm really going to be interested is if this moves up significantly, or if this volume becomes higher than the selling pressure volume. Not out of play, right? Because it's still holding up pretty high. But it's got a little bit of work. It's got a little bit of work to do before it's back in play. Mostly just waiting until the top of the hour here. See if we get any news. Just something to touch. really hard to keep from getting bored in this kind of environment. Beat is trying for 144 break. I mean, it's got a little bit of a ways to go to get there. The one thing I would say, too, that might have going for it is we are still in this upward channel, right? We are, it's a little bit off, but we are definitely ascending. There was news on SMX this morning on their equity purchase agreement. They're now getting an extra 5 million-ish, or an extra 5 million. Well, I mean, it really depends what the agreement states, right? Maybe they're saying, hey, here's an extra 5 million, but you're getting it at a lower or at a higher price. Or maybe it's saying, hey, here's an extra 5 million, don't sell. Right, or don't sell for like an extra 3 months or something. Interesting to see that. Was there news that I just didn't look at on SMX? Yeah, you're totally correct. Amended equity purchase agreement, 4 takeaways. Okay, this is like a summary. Does more than update its financial terms. Yeah. Okay, so they're just kind of talking about their cash flow, basically. Now, I still think SMX is kind of like the thing that's really keeping super aggressive short sellers at bay at the moment. So that's why I'm so interested in how it plays out. But yeah, good find on the SMX news. That's certainly relevant, right? If they updated their terms and saying they don't need capital for the rest of 2025, then that might not seem like a huge stretch because we're almost at the end of 2025, but like that company was burning through money like crazy. So if they're even saying, hey, we don't have to dilute for a few months, that's significant. That's kind of the bottom of the barrel you're scraping with some of these penny stocks, I guess. News that says they don't have to dilute for 3 months is good news. Hmm. Mm-hmm. 2 minutes till the top of the hour. Guess I'll do my halfway through the session talk. If you guys are liking the stream, please do leave a like. It helps me out. Also, if you're new to the stream, I do stream every day, so I would appreciate it if you subscribed and followed me for the journey. Today isn't a great example because only one trade, and it's a very slow day, so I can understand why you might not be impressed about today. But that's just the grind sometimes. Sometimes it's a very slow, very painful process. You feel that this is more impressive. What? Managing to be green on a day where everything kind of sucks? I mean, the only three stocks that I was really looking at was Beat, which is not the best mover, HCTI, and this one rolled over, MIGI. This one also kind of rolled over. So yeah, we just haven't really had opportunity. Like, there's nothing for me to really prove right now, other than when not to trade. Yeah, I'm having the discipline to not trade bad setups. Yeah, and to be fair, I'm no... Well, actually, hold on. We might have something. BFRI. No. Okay, never mind. Even the one trade I did take, though, right? I personally rate it as a B- quality, just because I was trading a stock with a higher float, and it was moving a bit slower. So, basically, at the bare, like, the worst case stock that I'm still okay trading. And it did work, so I suppose there's that. But yeah, there's just really nothing to touch right now. And I gotta stay out of the mindset too. You overslept? Good morning, flip-flop. Yeah, and I gotta stay out of the mindset because I was on a 10-day green streak, which is awesome, by the way. But I was on a 10-day green streak and went red by like $13 yesterday. So in my head, I'm like kind of in that, oh, I gotta recover that 13. I've only recovered 650, but it's you gotta resist that temptation. If the setups aren't there, then the setups aren't there. MNTS is moving. I'm not gonna touch it. It's too cheap. Yeah, I mean, with Shade, gotta give it a couple minutes, because my scanners, I have them tweaked so that I only find things that are actually experiencing volume. Because of that, I might not see a stock for the first, like, 3 or 4 minutes, just as it's kind of consolidating and building up that profile. The only other way I'm going to see it sooner is if someone calls it out in chat, which I'm not really asking for. If you do it, I appreciate it, but I'm not so privileged to say, you guys need to call this out for me. Like, if you want to, it's fine. I appreciate it, but I'm not asking you to do it either. But yeah, this one's totally out of play. Too cheap. Looks like we're having a bit of a pullback. These two candles of red have high volume, while the green spike from the algo spike had low volume. Looks a bit bearish. It's just really one of those days, huh? Be curling a little bit here. It's still in that upward channel, right? We have this clear ascending support. It hasn't broken it yet. I don't really know if I'm going to engage with beat anymore. It's already proved to me that it's a bit of a slower mover, much more crowded. So I'm not really too inclined to touch it anymore. But it still definitely looks in play if anyone's interested in it. I just don't think it meets my criteria. But yeah, we're going on 5 minutes, and we have only have MNTS. And that one's a penny stock. So yeah, you're basically right, Wiz Shade. Don't really have anything at the 8 o'clock news. Yeah, it looks like the top of the hour is a bust. Frustrating. ENVB popped. Oh, I can check it out. Yeah, it has popped a little bit. We are seeing volume increase as well. This volume profile for this move up is similar to this. Could be showing that interest is coming back to this. SNCX or SCNX. Yeah, good call out. Is a penny though. Not really interested. But yeah, good call out on that. ENVB might be worth engaging with soon, right? This volume is quite significant, right? We're getting to the levels of this prior pump. Today FOMC meeting. I think so. I'm not 100% though, but I know if it's not today, I know it's soon. Yes, today is okay. Never mind. You're just confirming. Okay, never mind. Yeah, rate cut is expected. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually a little more interested, right? This volume profile, this actually is comparing to this move. Yeah, and we're still holding up too, right? Like, we're still holding at the highs or near the highs. I think I should start to take this more seriously. This is a continuation play because we had news yesterday evening. I'm sizing down. If I do trade this, I want it to be on lower size. Also, beat had a very nasty push down. Like, this is what I mean with these fake outs, right? You have this breakout, and then just immediately pushes down, and it's faked out. The fact that it went below this ascending support, and now it's showing that it might recover. If this recovers, it's going to be very frustrating to a lot of people, because they probably got out because this ascending support broke. But yeah, this one's playing a lot of mind games. I don't want to mess with it. Yeah, ENVB, nice float. It has a very recent strong catalyst. We're seeing volume returning to this, right? We're getting quite high volume. Yeah, this is very good volume compared to the earlier volume profile. I might try and engage here on the front side with very, very low size. So we had this clear consolidation, now we're breaking. Question is this going to be a fake breakout or not? Well, 325, no. I mean, we had a wall at 313 because it hit there 3 minutes. If there was a wall on the level 2, I did not see it at the moment. Okay. You might have been right if that push down was from this alleged wall. Pretty big inflow here on this push down. Yes, that's why everyone is just waiting at the moment with this rate cut. Small caps will benefit. No rate cut, then I'm switching to shorting. Yeah, I see NXDR. It's a very high float though, so I don't want to mess with it. Problem with ENVB right now is we're seeing high volume on this push down. Makes me not really want to mess with it here. So we saw this like clear top. We had it break by a couple cents. Allegedly there was a large sell order here, and now we're seeing large volume pushing it down. The one thing we do have going for us is that this volume is much higher than this volume profile. Even if the rate cut happens, Powell is going to tamper it with negative remarks. Market probably won't move, in my opinion. Well, I mean, still, if the rate cut does happen, that is going to help small caps. I think that's just very clear. I'm looking for around 12 for an entry. If we get a pullback to 12s. Maybe like somewhere between like 12, 14 maybe? I took a starter here. I took a starter here. Sound like Ross. Yeah. I had a second order to add, but it didn't get filled. This volume profile looked pretty good, so I was willing to jump on it. We'll see. We're having high selling pressure here, but even though this went down a good bit, this volume was much lower. Feels like a bit of a discrepancy. Good luck with your short flip-flop. Let's see if we get this 1 minute bounce here. We've drawn down quite a bit and this volume has dropped. I'm a bit worried though that there could just be a hidden seller pushing this down. If this 1 minute candle doesn't make a new high, that could be troubling. My entry is slightly high, but it's not terribly high. I'd say it's an okay entry. Okay, broke 50. We're gonna move here. All right, we got filled there at 65. Nice little break here. I considered adding, because I only had 1/8 size, but if there was truly a hidden seller still here, I don't know if I would have still wanted to be a part of that. Also, selling halves doesn't really make sense because I already have too low of a size. Just a very small grind there. Maybe I was slightly too conservative, but it wasn't terrible. Right, $4. That's not a terrible hit. I'll just give it a B. Yeah, I think I should have done 4th size. I think 8th size was too conservative. Right, because I would have made like 860. Yeah, I think I should have done 1/4 size, not 1/8. It's a small base hit. I mean, the daily goal is only $10 a day anyway, so. Honorable mention, MNTS is running. Yeah, someone, yeah, flip-flop, you called it out, but this has run to $1. I'm still probably going to avoid it. It's a cheaper stock overall. What is the shares? 24 million. Okay. Lightspeed is saying 2 million. I can tell just from looking at the level 2, though. This is very thick. So, you think I sized well? I was close, and that's the hard thing, too. So this can get you in trouble if you're not careful. I believe, in hindsight, the correct size was 1/4 size. The problem is whenever you're trying to assess for risk, you got to think about price of the stock, how much it could suddenly rug on you. And you have to like kind of, I'm trying to always size my trades to give the same return. So I'm trying to essentially make every trade be a $10 risk reward. Considering I got most of the range I was looking for here, right? Because I sold up here at 65. I sold pretty high. So considering I got most of the range I was looking for, but I only got $4, tells me I was a little bit undersized. But I would rather have gone undersize and only got $4 than gone oversize and then lost 20 because I oversized. But yeah, it's difficult, especially in the moment. You can't always know. Sometimes you can see things. You start to hallucinate. Good morning. Can you talk through your entry again? Was it based on price, support and resistance, or decreasing selling volume? Mostly the second one. So we saw that there was this triple top here. We had a breakout. I didn't see it on the level 2, but someone said there was a large sell order at around 1325. Looks like that was true because we did eventually see this pressure. The volume was high on the selling pressure, but as we were pushing lower and lower, the volume was going down, right? So I was starting to think, okay, we're getting a little bit overextended. This is due for a pop. It seems like the selling pressure is drying up. So I took a small position, 1/8 size at 1229. So right here is where I got in. So like I said, not super great of an entry because I didn't time the bottom that well, but my exposure was very small. So in that sense, I was pretty well protected. I did consider adding here because we were seeing continued decreasing in volume as the price went lower. I didn't feel the conviction to punch the trigger though, and it went without me. I was mostly looking for the break of 1250. Now, at 1265, that would have been a good spot to sell half and let hold the rest for the next leg. But because I only had 12 shares, didn't really feel right to do that. Makes more sense just to take it all off. You got to remember too, I am using a commission broker. I hope that helps. Yeah, only 2 trades for me today. And they weren't even that high of a quality, right? A B and a B minus. What broker? So for order execution, I am using Lightspeed. For charting and stuff like that, I am using Thinkorswim. Right, so you can see like the chart window here. This is Thinkorswim. This order here is for Lightspeed. This is quite rough because I was really starting to get hopeful that this could have actually, you know, kind of amplified and became a more extreme move because we were seeing this volume profile be higher than this volume. But knowing that this was mostly selling pressure here, it makes me a lot less confident. Thanks, useful breakdown. I appreciate it. Glad you found it helpful. Yeah, I'm not super high conviction on this at the moment. I would want us to have, really, we would need to see high volume come in, matching this, and we would need to see price return to here. Nice, you use Lightspeed. Position window looks familiar. Yeah, it's just the positions window. I did have 2 other windows for active orders and my executed orders. I'm fine with showing my, my executed orders at the end of the stream. So, like, I'll show it here because I'm not in it. But you can see my orders for the day. And I still think it's worth me keeping it so I can show it to you guys if you want to see it. Just so that you can kind of, like, confirm, okay, he actually did take these trades. Or you can even see I took the 1/8 size there, as I was saying. 1/8 of 100 shares. But, yeah, just to avoid copy trading and people trying to kind of backseat or just jump on, I thought it was important to stop showing my trades live. Oh, wow, Beat really made a move. What the heck? What the hecky? beat. Okay, that's an impressive spike of volume, right? Very big volume spike, very big pop. Hmm. You are right about the daily resistance. Thing is with the beat, every time it makes a big pop, it sells off again. You're right. This is very whiplashy. A lot of fake outs. You wouldn't touch it. I mean, if it's going to give me this much of a volume move, it feels a lot more in play. Very interesting to see it pop and immediately just give back like 2/3 of the move, though. If we pull back a bit more, I might get in here. Looks like algo trading. Well, I mean, yeah, if you see a sudden spike of volume, algos are going to get out of the way. I wouldn't call that a conspiracy. That's just how they work. So we've bottomed out here at 35 3 times. Decreasing volume. I'll get in here. Taking a shot at it. Right, this volume's been descending on all of this pullback. It's crazy, man. that pop into just nothing but selling pressure. What the heck even was this move? Not a single curl or anything. Hmm. It's crazy. I mean, if I got trapped by this, it is what it is. I might have to bail on this. Yeah, both of these pushes down were on higher volume too. So there could just be legitimately someone pushing this hard. What is this? 11 straight candles of red. Or no, 9. Yeah, 9 straight candles of red. No 1 minute highs at all. Got like an 80,000 share buyer at 125. A lot of barcoding on the 1 second. Yeah, it's a thicker traded stock. And it's cheaper. It makes sense. First green candle. See if we actually get a 1 minute high here. Cannot believe it went this low, this quickly. After doing this kind of move. There's a decent sized wall at 130. Also, didn't mention, we did pass the half hour, so we'll see if anything else comes up here. I haven't seen anything on the scanners, though. Yeah, I gotta take half off here. Just the way this thing has pulled back. I gotta reduce exposure a little bit. Alright, I'm cutting it. I've given it enough time. Honestly, I'm so surprised how much this pulled back. Like, this thing went from a spike getting insane intention into just giving the entire thing back. Not a single green candle. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just... That just kind of is frustrating. To see this much of a move down and just... Ugh. I'm sorry. Yeah. Alright. You've been observing shorts being more aggressive pre-market, but ease up during market hours. It does kind of feel that way. Alright, a lot of stocks are failing. Pre-market, it seems. I guess it even felt like a good setup, too. Yeah, you're right. It's not an A+ kind of stock. The only reason I gave it B+ is because we had such a huge pullback on this. The odds that it would bounce, I felt like that was very high. Granted, I did not anticipate it would continue down lower before the bounce, right? And considering how drawn down this is, right? I sold into this, I sold the first one here and the second half here. Like, I can't really hold for a move back up because this is just such big bag holder headwind. Like, I just can't hold through that. Too dangerous. SVRE was halted. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. It doesn't really show it on this chart, but you're right. On Lightspeed, it's saying it's halted. I'll definitely put that on a watch list. That's weird. Yeah, flip-flop, what are you doing? Stop shorting my stocks, man. Like, I mean, dude. Come on, you don't need to short this heavily, dude. What is this? What is this? Why are you shorting so much, dude? I'm just messing. Halted pending news. Yeah. Yep, sitting up 982. Small loss from that last trade. I was down about $8 or $9 at one point. Right, towards the lows. What was the high of this? I mean, 34, like, there wasn't even that much to fight for. And what a crazy move, though. If I put a poll out asking how many of you thought after this pump it would sell off with 1 minute candles for the next 9 minutes all the way back down, I bet most of you would say that wouldn't happen. VELO popping a little bit. Yeah. There's no news and volume's super light. Not really interested. There was news on the 8th. It's like 2 days ago. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's related. It's possible, right? Because you did see this move here. So if there was news on the 8th, right here, news came out here, it did kind of scale up, and then you saw this pop up. So this pop up might have been on the news from the 8th. Therefore, maybe this is a bit of a continuation of this, because we are trading at the high. So there's a little bit of an argument there, actually. I would want to see more volume, though. I will keep this on watch as well. I'm not really expecting much, though. Right? And it sucks, too, because it literally broke the high and then just sold off. Like, it broke the high with 7,000 shares and then just sold off. Yeah, this could be something to watch market open, see if it does anything. You know, I probably should just not touch beat anymore for the rest of the day. I didn't even super like the first trade I took. And the second, this is just disgustingly hard to predict. I probably should just not touch beat for the rest of the day. RBT continuation. Check it out. Got increased volume. I suspect this is a higher float, though, just given how slow it's moving. 30 million, that's a little high. Yeah, around 30 million. Also, no live news on it. Yeah, it floats a little higher. No news. It is interesting to see we're having volume increased. Right, if you look at the 5, or like the last day, Right, we have broken out of this area. As for hot momentum, though, I really wouldn't classify this that way. Just stop it. Yeah. Yeah, just beat it. Just beat it. Get out of here. Oh, brother. So you can't do that while you're trading. Yeah, I'm probably just waiting until the top of the hour. We'll see if we get anything at 9. I'm not super hopeful. Hmm. Throw out a little poll while we're waiting here. Yeah, a lot of no's. No, today was just horrible. I mean, what did I take? Did I take 3 trades? Yeah, 3 trades, and honestly, like, even then, I'm not super happy with them. ENVB starting to look interesting. I'll swap back to it, check it out. So this is, ENVB is definitely something to watch going into today, just because of how it's holding, right? You look at the 5-day here, right? We're clearly still holding towards the highs. We have very high volume during pre-market, right? This volume is way higher than this initial spike. And it's still just much higher than the relative volume of the regular moves. So, yeah, this is definitely something to watch going into today. I'm a bit skeptical to touch it here, just because we did have pretty big selling pressure here, right? This was, again, this was like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 candles of straight red. No curl, nothing. Right. Anyone trying to buy a micro pullback and hold is just getting brutalized. Not interested because it's a penny stock, but ADBVB has a little bit of a spike going on here. Volume's picked up a little as well. I'm not going to touch this one, but if anyone's interested in that, this could be one to look at. IRBT is actually at the daily 200 EMA. Come on, I got to get one more trade at 9 a.m. to give back all the gains I made today. Very important. Got to keep the red streak going. I'll leave the poll up for a few more minutes here. But yeah, I don't think this is going to curl in time for me to be re-engaged with it, unless news comes out for it. Yeah, beat Even though it looked bad at the time, I kind of sold at a good point, right? 132. I sold kind of near the high of the bounce. Because you know there's a bunch of people that bought here, and they're just holding underwater at the moment. Ben, I didn't see your comment. You're off. Thanks for the stream. Yep, you have a good one, Ben. If you're still here. You might not be. That was like a couple minutes ago. I've been debating too if I should stay till 9:15. Curious if you guys have any input on this. So I've noticed this a couple times now where I am getting off at 9 and I go to do my recap. And as I'm like pulling up the stocks to do the recap, I see at 9:15 there's just like a big move that happens. How often have you guys noticed that there's been a significant move that happens at around 9:15? I'm just curious. You were up $10 this morning, now you're down 27. Your daughter started to scream and punch her brother, so I had to go talk to her. And when I went back, I was down $40 on the trade. I feel that. I feel that. I mean, don't blame them, though. Right? The reality was either you should have cut the trade when you had to go, or either that or just accept that it was a losing trade and that you were destined to lose on it. Like I wouldn't go so far as to blame other exterior forces. It does suck though. Yeah. It's happened to you so many times. Holding 10 shares of ENVB at 12.51. Good luck. I'm tilted what a day later. Yeah, no, I'm actually, it might not seem like it, but I'm actually very, very frustrated with how this beat play turned out. I'm actually very frustrated with it. Cap, do you trade same approach in after hours? Seen nice moves in after hours lately. Sometimes. So in the past, I actually did. Go ahead and pull this up just so you can see it. So notice how this says morning session. So I actually have a second spreadsheet for evening sessions. And that was more when I was experimenting with trading morning versus evening sessions. And what I was finding was that the morning sessions were just more active in general. So I just decided, okay, let me just put all my energy towards the morning sessions instead. But you do bring up a good point. We've seen a lot of stocks making moves in after hours lately. So that could be something to investigate more. You have to run. See you tomorrow. Hopefully I wake up earlier. Yeah, try to wake up on time, man. Yeah. You have a good one, Flip Flop. Yeah, I know you're right, but it sucks. Yeah. At the end of the day, you gotta take responsibility for any trade you make. It's at the end of the day you that pulls the trigger. Right? I could look at beat and I could say, oh, like it's real easy to go into the manipulated because it's manipulative territory and say, oh, look at this. This thing just had a massive spike up, huge volume, breaking through all the resistances, just to fully retrace back, not a single 1 minute bounce on lighter volume. Like it's like it can be so frustrating when you have such high conviction and it doesn't make any sense why a stock doesn't work the way you think it should work. But the way I would say is this was the reality. And for whatever reason, what I thought was reality and what actually happened, there is a discrepancy, right? I thought this was extremely likely, borderline illogical that this happened. But it did happen. So I was wrong. And I just need to accept that. Like, it's more important that I say I was wrong, I did not predict this correctly, rather than say, oh, this is so manipulated. I mean, it could be manipulated. I can't tell. You can never know. But I think it's unhealthy to make all of your problems exterior factors rather than interior. Because if they're exterior, you can't do anything about that. But all right, we're coming up on the top of the hour. Hopefully we get something in play. Go ahead and end the poll here. Like I said, like normal, for today, I'm going to end the stream after 5 minutes if we don't see anything in play. I will stay around. I'm not going to stream, but I will stay around a little longer just to see if there's any stocks that do come into play at 9:15. Mainly just because I want to see if we're starting to see this pattern where I'm leaving too early. Even if it is manipulated, it is part of the game. Exactly. And at the end of the day, we're trying to make as educated as a guest we can based off the information we have. And we just don't know everything. We don't have all the information. You're staying seated till 9:15. Always end up missing moves when I don't. Yeah, I'll be here till 9:15 as well. Like I said, I'll just end the stream early if nothing comes up by 9:05. But yeah, if we are seeing moves, and even like, what was it? Ross was saying that he sees moves from time to time at 9:15. And yesterday, I think we had a pretty big one. So I'm mostly just going to start prodding it to see if maybe my timing is off. And I should be staying a little bit longer. Yeah, take a look at that nice green $9.82 because it could go away in the next 2 minutes. Who knows? Third day as a silent listener. Thanks for the informative commentary. I appreciate it. By the way, if you guys have any suggestions for me, maybe I don't talk enough, maybe I talk too much, maybe there's a certain angle you'd want me to do more, like breaking down the trades a bit more. I'm open to your guys' feedback, by all means. You can criticize me, I don't mind. As long as it's in good faith, you can say anything you'd like. I feel like as long as you're coming at good faith, then that's the best approach to make the stream better for everybody. Right? I can give more to you guys, and in return, the stream's higher quality, so you stay longer, so it gets promoted to more people. So it's a win-win for everybody. Guess I will shout this out too. One final selfish self-promo. If you're not already, I would invite you to subscribe and come along for the journey with me. Actually, real quick, SVRE has unhalted. Okay, hold status update. SVRE. So nothing on Thinkorswim news. I'm going to check their filings directly. Is it save one? Is that what this is? Yeah, save one. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing news on it. Obviously, there's something. I think you're doing a great job. Don't change anything. Appreciate that. Captain Rose session incoming. Oh, God. Let's see. Do you prepare a watch list for the following that you share at the beginning of the stream? It's mostly just what moved yesterday, right? Interestingly, SVRE, despite gapping up this high, we have a very weird spread going on. Now, if this was a buyout, I'd be all over this, but because I don't know what the catalyst is, I don't have the conviction to jump on this. TGL offering womp womp. 1/3 split SVRE 1210. Gotcha. Okay. Right, so it should be 390, and we're at 390, so that makes sense. JAGX moving, got some volume on it. Pretty high float, or pretty low float too. We got news, FDA approval. This actually looks pretty good. Yeah. I'm gonna jump in here. I like this. Bit of a seller at 36 though. Don't know how big it is. Bigger volume than I would have liked coming in through there. Big spike back up though. Reason I was willing to jump on this is this volume is way higher. Float's also quite low. And we have a clear news catalyst for it. Yeah, 25,000 shares of volume on the ask though. Bit iffy on that. BBGI also moving. Yeah, that might draw attention away from this. So we had nice volume on this initial push, but both of these candles have high volume as well on the pullback. Kind of removing the edge. Very nasty push down there. I'm gonna add here. God, but we're still seeing a big seller. Okay. That's unfortunate timing. Added there right as that seller came in. Dang, I added right at 25, and immediately after I added, there was a big 20,000 seller that popped up. Maybe I should have immediately cut it. BPGI looks like it's on the lower end, but it could be curling. I think I got bamboozled on JAGX here. So I saw the very high volume, and that's what I said I was looking for to trade more aggressive. We saw this 25 or so thousand share seller up at 140s. Then I saw it move down to 130. But then I saw that the volume was higher than that selling, so I was like, okay, maybe they got bought up. And then I entered at 125 because the seller wasn't there. And immediately after I punched it, the seller showed up at 125, and then the price dropped. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The snooze was okay. Float was low, volume was high. We had a lot of the factors there for it. This might just be rolling over. The volume is decreasing on all of this, though. It's the one saving grace, but I mean, it's pulled back so far already. I'm not really going to get much out of this, even if it does pop. I mean, we got to pop up to 23, but the volume's so light on it. BPGI is really holding up better than this one, too. Right, that's really just detracting attention away from this one. Yeah, this one curled a lot better. I mean, it did flush immediately, but this one is curling a lot better. Float's also pretty low on this one. Solid headline until you saw it was for dogs. Yeah. Right. I get that. Yeah. Very rough with this one. TGL just dropped. Yeah. I'm just trying to get out of this one now. Really just not giving any breathing room too, right? This just completely sold off and now it's just holding down here at the lows. BPGI is giving you that tickle. Yeah. I mean, it's holding up well. All right. Well, I'm just gonna cut the rest of this. I had a little bit left in it. Very rough how I got pushed all the way down and it just didn't bounce. I mean, this gave me everything I was looking for, right? We had the very high volume. We had the news catalyst. Everything seemed like it was working with it, but basically, max loss on that trade. All right, well, I'm going to pivot to BBGI because this one is still holding up. Bit hesitant after that last hit, though. We've had a lot of stocks failing. Even JAGX that had higher volume ended up failing. Yeah, as for BBGI, does still have a lower float. But I don't see news on it. Yeah, what did happen with TGL? Was that just dilution? Or... yeah, okay, dilution. Yeah, so that's to be expected. BBGI is very weird, though, because I don't see news on it. But we're clearly having momentum. Right, we went from 540 to 720. Actually, crazy move. Yeah, so we had this 1 minute high. Looks like it's reversed pretty hard. High volume. $750 to $650, so basically $1 drop. Seems like there was a little bit of holding here. Around 630s. Yeah, on the daily, we have some support around 630. Yeah, this has a ton of range to it. It popped up and now it's testing it again. This did seem to hold. Pressuring it 3 times now. Pressuring 7 quite a lot. I'm still not sure how to read this though. Seems like there was a hidden seller pushing this down this whole time. On this last 1 minute candle, I mean. Volume was somewhat high. Might as well stay for market open, cat. Yeah, I mean, at this point, really. Yeah, this is still pulling back. Okay, I took a stab there. Let's see if we get any kind of bounce here. Seemed like there was really a wall of someone holding it here. At 620s. Yeah, back to 620s. We'll see how it acts here. Okay, we broke over 620s, but just barely. Yeah, like, even this pop isn't that good of a pop. The only thing keeping me in is this descending volume on this breakdown. What's my max risk per loss for the day? Or max risk slash loss for the day? 100 to 150. Like, it's a hard stop. I gotta walk away from down more than 150 on the day. Okay, nice breakout there. We're at 640. Can we pull away towards 650 maybe? Unfortunately, the volume was still kind of light on that breakout. This might just roll over. Yeah, I'm getting worried that this will rug now. It's not really giving any bounce here for me to get out either. $14 would probably be the best. Yeah, this one's tricky. There's still some things going for it too. A lot of these selling pressures have been on lighter volume. Am I using hotkeys? Yes. Well, it's a mix. I have hotkeys, but I also do use some manual orders as well. Hmm. This volume is still quite low. We got 2 minutes till market open. Just a heads up. CGTL, a bit too cheap for me, so I'm probably not going to touch that one. Is this going to be another ENVB? Well, this one's much lighter size, so this, like, I didn't add to this one, right? This is only 1/4. But yeah, it is kind of just bleeding down here. The only difference is this still has volume, and this is still in play for a bounce. Very frustrating, too, because the high was 844, and I was 3 cents off from getting a sell order hit. Does feel like these slow grinds down, though. They're just not recovering immediately. Yeah, hitting into a wall here. This same wall is over here. Yeah, getting slammed down there too. Ugh. Yeah, really struggling to cut trades lately, I felt like. Just holding them a bit longer. even into this slam. It's frustrating too because I keep getting so close to hitting target and I'm just getting either a slow bleed or this slam down. Well, I'm gonna cut it here. I've given it way too much time. It's so frustrating because I was 3 cents from selling here. I had the order. And even so, whenever we fell down here initially, this was on lower volume. And even on this pullback, the volume was still quite low relative to this. So I still saw things coming. But yeah, $29 down on the day. Frustrating. But it is what it is. Short squeeze on BDRX. RX. Maybe. Right, 5 to 540. Definitely has some momentum. I gotta get going here because I gotta do my swing plays and get them set up. So this stream went on a bit longer, but yeah, that's that last trade. Just I really thought it was gonna resolve. Didn't add to it. It was only 25 shares, but still annoying to see how that played out. But yeah, you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm